New episode of One Could Argue, and I wanted to talk about the word no because I'm seeing a lot of tweets, which is where I'm getting a lot of my content from as of late, around the mindset of people being more happy and comfortable now that they are saying no without explaining themselves. And I have experienced that. I've been on the receiving end of that, and to an extent, I've done that. And it came from a place of me not setting boundaries beforehand. And this is similar to a conversation I was having with Erica a couple weeks ago. I think that's part of the podcast that maybe didn't make it. I'll maybe put that clip out soon. But when you're setting boundaries or you don't set boundaries, of course you get frustrated because people are constantly overstepping areas that you didn't identify as yours. And sometimes in order to take action, the only way you can take action is by either learning how to do it properly, or you just get so fed up and sick and tired of it that you just go balls to the wall and create all kinds of insane boundaries. You just become angry and frustrated and rude, and your tonality is ridiculous, and you just rub a bunch of people the wrong way, and you feel good because no one's bothering you. But in you feeling good, now you've made everyone else hate you. So I think it's important to find that middle ground. And I don't think you do that by necessarily telling people just no all the time. And I'm not one who's going to say, you know, everyone needs to divulge all of the information and just make everyone else feel comfortable. But I think there is a way to do it. And it's by just giving a little bit more, giving a little bit more information and giving a little extra empathy or care in your tonality as you're speaking, as you're sharing. So if someone asks you to go somewhere and whether you just don't want to go or whether you literally have some other plans, I'm not saying you have to say, yo, I already made plans with this person to go this specific place, but it's like, yo, I really wish I could, but I got caught up in some plans beforehand. I wish I would have knew about this before. Next time, hit me up, let me know. That is 100 times better than just being like, no, I can't. No one likes that. I wouldn't like being talked to like that. I'm sure you wouldn't like to be talked to like that. So, you know, sometimes, and I often get called on it because sometimes I talk to people in a way that I know good and damn well I wouldn't want nobody to talk to me like that. And I don't know why there's a disconnect in my brain where sometimes I do that. But as soon as someone talks to me like that, I be ready to throw hands. So it's important for us to constantly, you know, as a barrier, I think it's important to set those barriers in your mind where when you're about to say something, just give yourself a couple seconds to think and be like, okay, if someone talks to me like this, would I feel like they really disrespecting me right now and we need to take this a step further to get it figured out? If that's the case, then fix it. Tone it down just a little bit, be a little bit more kind. And you're not always going to want to, you're not always going to be obligated to, or you necessarily shouldn't always have to. Some people, you just shouldn't have to do it. But this is a podcast about nuance. This is a podcast for people who want to live in the top 1% of people who are able to maneuver through spaces and build relationships that other people can't build because they're willing to do the rest of this stuff that's extremely hard that no one else wants to do. I put a tweet out yesterday and I was like, yo, I wonder if growth for a flower is as tough as growth is for us, because it's a very trying experience. Sometimes in a week, I'll have to deal with so many things that has to do with my growth, and it challenges every core of my being, stuff that I've been learning up until yesterday or up until the week before. And it's like, holy shit, I got to walk back 28 years of doing this, and it's hard. But if I want to be the person that I'm going to be, this is inevitable. There's no getting around learning this. There's no getting around challenging these things. And for sure, communicating to people with a level of empathy and making sure your tone is correct is part of it. So take no out of your vocabulary unless you're attaching it to something else. Look at no as medicine. And I can't give you no Robitussin without that pink bubblegum tasting shit that they would give you. My mom would always give me the Robitussin first and then give me whatever that pink shit was that tastes like cotton candy and shit, and it would always help the experience go down a little bit better. So as you go through today, this week, this life, take that in mind. And I feel like all of our relationships can get much better. And if you find yourself on the other end of needing assistance from the person that you told no, at least the last time or the last memory they have of you isn't you hitting them with one of those no, and I'm not explaining myself type situations. And they might be a little bit more open to assisting you with whatever you need. So on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and I will see you on next week's episode.